Hello everybody, I'm Brian, also known as UKJN Zoidberg, and welcome to another Retro Face-Off, our new monthly series where I compare two similar games to tell you which one I think you should be playing. In today's video, I'm going to be turning my attention to the world of Amiga racing games and playing two games that are incredibly similar. Those two games are Overdrive, published by Team 17 in 1993, and 1995's Trax from Arcane Entertainment. When it comes to overhead racing games, Amiga players are pretty spoilt for choice, with the likes of Supercars, Roadkill and Micro Machines all available. So the question is really, should you play one of these two games instead? And if so, which one? That's the question that I'm here to answer today. So sit back as I play both games, go through their various strengths and weaknesses, and then tell you which one I think is the best. If you've played either of these two games, I'd love to know what your opinion is of them in the comments. Now though, it's time to take your places on the grid, as the race is about to start. Overdrive was the third game produced by Psionic Systems, and the second one, after Assassin, that was published by Team 17. The team consisted of programmer David Broadhurst and artist Hayden Dalton, with additional artwork provided by Mike and Andrew Oakley. Broadhurst was previously responsible for the Amiga versions of Bubble Bobble and Ghouls and Ghosts, whereas Dalton's excellent graphics were the highlights of the otherwise forgettable Gauntlet 3. Music and sound were produced by Team 17 regular Alistair Brimble, composer behind Project X, Super Frog and Assassin. Review scores were widely varied, ranging from 90% in Amiga computing down to a lowly 46% from Amiga Power. Trax is the only game to come from Arcane Entertainment, who published the game themselves in the UK, while Black Legend distributed the game in Germany. Programming was from Peter Ivey and Miles Visman, with music coming from Adam Pracy. Graphics were by Mark Healy, who had multiple 8-bit games on his CV and would go on to work as an artist at UK studios Lionhead and Media Molecule, working on games such as Fable, Dungeon Keeper and Little Big Planet. Review scores were just as erratic, with 94% and 92% coming from Games Master and Amiga Action respectively, being balanced out by another 46% from Amiga Power. Okay, so that's everything that you would expect from a Team 17 game. It's very glossy. Alistair Brimble tune, check. Okay, so you get a choice of control options. You have the standard one, hold down fire button with your rotation, or you can actually press the direction whilst holding the fire button to accelerate. I personally prefer control version 1. That's more of a traditional style. And as you can see in the options, you have an option of link up. You also have a choice of music and effects, sound effects only, or just music. Why anybody would want anything other than music and effects is beyond me. So let's just get straight on with play. So what you get a choice of 3 races each time. So this one can be 4x4 on Sand Circuit 1. Let's see what the next one is. Buggy vehicle in Arena Circuit 2. Sport vehicle in Ice Circuit number 1. Let's go with the 4x4 then. So I would always recommend that you qualify on the circuit first. Qualifying on a circuit basically gives you a shorter version of a race on the same track, which actually helps you learn the track, because as you can see there is a little scanner at the bottom of the screen that is next to useless. Quite how anybody would ever have the time to look down and see that, I have no idea. So it's very fast, very smooth, very playable. I think learning the locations of the turbo pads is essential on harder difficulties. Although now in the race you now have some on-track pickups. Each full race is 8 laps. So the fact that the tracks aren't particularly long means that the races are over pretty quick. So nice race victory there. I get to enter my name for lap times. So literally all the on-track pickups seem to only be for bonus score after each race. buggy on Sam. Let's go for the Grand Prix one on an ice circuit then. I've got no idea who Dan and Bert are, as there doesn't seem to be any discernible personality or rivalry to your opponents. They don't even have different coloured cars. So I've got no idea why I should care as to whether I'm beating them. It is a shame that every single corner is 90 degrees, but at the speed the game moves at, I think it's pretty understandable. It's also unfortunate that the only multiplayer that this game has is a link-up between two Amigas, because even back in the day that was pretty difficult to do, but today it's pretty much impossible. I really do wish that they were allowing some kind of internet connection for the A200 when it comes out next year. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case though. Oh, that's unfortunate. It doesn't remember my name. I really do think that there should be some other indication as to what direction the next corner is going to be. Like, it's all well and good having arrows on the track itself, but why not have flashing arrows in the air or something that always appear in the same place on screen? Or better yet, actually have an actual track map somewhere that you can look at rather than that useless scanner at the bottom. It's always nice to see a developer showing a bit of versatility in terms of the types of games they produce. Disqualified. I'm sure I won that race. Unfortunately, it does seem like one of those racing games where your opponents will happily just barge you rather than actually try and race you. I do remember that my first experience of playing this game was a cover disc demo, and I remember both me and my friend did actually play it a lot just to try and set best lap times. Despite what the game's loading screens tell you, I don't actually feel like there's any difference in handling between the different vehicles and road surfaces. So although the handling and everything is not any different, this circuit definitely does feel a bit different because of the number of hazards that are all over it. Well, I'll give it that. So it seems like the game has 20 tracks on it, because there's 5 locations with 4 tracks in each, but that's what it's, from what I can gather. I think it's probably time to leave Overdrive for now. This game, I think, is better than I had it in my mind that it was, so that's why it's worth replaying it again for these videos. But let's move on and play some Turbo Trax and see how that compares. So once again, my first experience of playing this game was a playable demo that I think came with Amiga Action magazine. So we've got arcade, practice, time trials, and link up, so same options as Overdrive. No control option. Audio gives us a choice of music or sound effects, not both. So this has thrown me straight into a race. So it's definitely only music, no sound effects playing. That's disappointing. Track's nice and short though. Although once again the corners are all 90 degrees. It's fast and smooth and playable, just like Overdrive is. I've noticed already though that there is a subtle movement of the car on screen towards the back, depending on which direction you're going, which will allow you to see the corners a little bit better, because there are no arrows on screen once more. It's just little tiny arrows on the road, and they're not even prior to the corners like they were on Overdrive. Oh, okay, and I get to spend my money in a shop, although I only have 320. I don't think that Nope, there's nothing that I can afford. The cheapest item is an engine upgrade for 650. So let's just go straight back to exit and carry on. There's no easy way to learn the tracks. There's not even the there's no track map or scanner on screen. So it's almost like the game wants you to fail at the races the moment you load up, because that's the only way you're going to learn the tracks. Once again, some kind of flashing arrow on screen ahead of the corners would be nice. Right, well, I now have 960, so engine is 650, nitro, I'm assuming, is 725, steering 700, tires 800. Let's go for the engine upgrade. The music is nice, I'll give it that. It's no Alistair Brimble, but it is a decent. But it is a decent piece of music. I do wish that there was at the very least an engine noise, though. So I'm going to go to the audio settings and I'm going to select sound effects this time. Oh, but it's thrown me into a different race when I select start. So this is not going to be a track that I know once again. Again, the sound effects are pretty decent. They're everything that you would expect, engine noise and little jingles for collecting items. But once again, you miss something by not having the music as well. Considering this game came out 2 years after Overdrive, that's a little bit disappointing. The turbo pads are not quite as easy to spot as they are in Overdrive either. Hey, what position did I finish? 4th. And I got 2 points for finishing 4th. And even though this is an off-road buggy, the handling seems identical to what it was in a sports car a minute ago. Okay, every time you restart game, it just throws you straight. It seems to randomly choose which type of car and which set of courses you're on, rather than letting you choose. And I don't think I like that. Okay, practice lets me choose which track I'm going to play on, with up and down selecting which location. So that works for me. Okay, so that is street circuits. That one is, well, let's see what that one is, shall we? So it is a so it is a practice race against a field of opponents. That gives you some idea of how badly I'm doing, though. The fact that all the other computer cars have come around to lap me. And these are like Grand Prix ones. So let's give that one a try. Once again, though, if the track select screen has little overhead maps of each circuit there, why could that not have been put on screen? Once again, it's good looking, fast and playable, but let down by a few annoying flaws. So I think it's probably time to move on and decide which of the two games I prefer and give them both a score. I can't recall another time on the Amiga where two games came out from two different development teams that seem to have been built from the exact same design document. Both Overdrive and Trax seem to have the same issues, but is one better than the other? Both games have clearly been made by teams of talented artists and programmers. Visually, they're both excellent, with Trax being slightly more impressive in terms of trackside detail. but I think Overdrive is ultimately smoother. The Team 17 game easily comes out on top for audio too, as it not only has music and sound effects at the same time, but Alistair Brimble's tunes are much more memorable than the admittedly still good music by Adam Bracey. Where both games fall down though is in their structure. Starting with Overdrive, it's nice that you're given the option to qualify on each track before the main races, as this allows you to learn the tracks. Likewise, having a choice of 3 races at each time means that you can stick to the preferred tracks and cars. On-track arrows are just about early enough before a corner to aid you as you race, but the scanner at the bottom of the screen is so utterly useless that it might as well not be there. I really don't like the way that TurboTrax randomly selects your track type and car each time you press start, but at least you then progress through a series of races in order. Being able to buy upgrades between races is a good idea in theory, but in practice the upgrades are far too expensive. There's no on-screen map this time to aid your earning of track layouts, and I found that the arrows were far too small to be of any help. Ultimately, I think the flaws are enough to prevent either game from being something that I could fully recommend. Both games are frustrating because there was potential for each to have been much better. I'll give both games a score of 6 out of 10, but I think Overdrive has just about enough to be the overall winner. I hope you are enjoying this new series of Retro Face Off. Next month I'll be taking my first look at an Amiga game versus its console alternative, with Alien 3 from Probe Software. I'd love it if you came back and watched that one too. There are new videos about Amiga games every Friday on this channel, including episodes of the re-review and Best 10. I also live stream every Tuesday. If there are games that you'd like to see me cover in some form, whether it's this series or otherwise, please feel free to join our Discord, where there's a channel dedicated to game suggestions. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, happy retro gaming everybody. I'll see you soon.